Alrighty, guys, this is page 22, percents. Please go ahead and read through it, underline what you think is important, and then come back to us. Okay, this is what I would have written. This is what I say all the time in my 7th grade class is that percents are always out of 100, right? So let's go actually write that down. Percents are always out of 100, right? And we use percent a lot, right? So this is R. So when you take a percent, right, you can put it as a fraction. You can put it over 100, right? And there's your fraction, right? For a decimal, you could take your percent, you could divide it by 100, and that gives you a decimal. Simple, right? We're using 100%, right? So 104%, excuse me. And we use this a lot, right? We use percents in probability, right? So probability goes from 0%, as in there's no chance it's going to happen, to 100%, which means it is for sure going to happen. Like there is a 100% chance that Miss Chan is going to give you homework this year. Right. And that's our range, right? Well, that's why it's out of 100. 100 is our highest, right? And that is what we're thinking. When we think of percents, we're thinking about like you go to the mall and there's a sale and they always say like, oh, 15% off. When I was not as educated and my mom took me shopping, I'm not going to tell you what age I was when this happened, but my mom took me shopping and I went to, I can't remember what store I went to, but the sign said it was like 75% off. Let's just make it easy. Said it was 75% off. And then it said take an extra 25% off of that. And I was like, wait, mom, that adds up to 100. Like, can I just take this? Can I walk out? And she started laughing at me. And this wasn't like my brightest moment, but I was thinking, oh, 75% off, 25% off. That's 100, right? So it's free. And then little did I know. And she was like laughing at me. And then it clicked right afterwards that stores would never, ever give you anything for free. Actually, that's not true. I'll tell you another story later. But so it was 75% off. And then whatever was left, now you had to pay that much. And then they would take 25% off of that number. Right. So still not free. Okay. Anyways, so we use percents all the time, right? Calculating tax, calculating tip, all of that stuff. Right. There are some commonly used percents to use, and they have it right here. So 100% would be 100 out of 100. Right? And if you guys don't remember, denominator is going to be your bottom number in a fraction. Right? So all of these, if you look at it right here, let's go through them, right? Out of 100, 75%, 75 out of 100, 50%, 50 out of 100, 25%, 25 hundredths, 10%, 10 hundredths, 1%, 1 out of 100, right? So notice that all the bottom, 80%, 80 over 100, 60%, 60 over 100, 40%, 40 over 100, 20%. And you notice the pattern, right? So no matter what it is, no matter what percent it is, you take that percent, you put it over 100. I'm gonna give you another example. So let's go ahead and write under. If it was like 150%, what do? You put it over 100. So this will be 150 over 100. Right? You're not adding anything. It's still over 100. Percents are always out of 100. Okay. And this 150%, you're like, oh, Miss Shin, 100% is the highest. In certain situations, right? So think about your grades, right? You and students always ask, Miss Shin, can I get extra credit? Can I get extra credit, please? If you get extra credit, you do all your work, you get 100% on all your tests, and you get extra credit, then your percents will be higher than 100%. Okay. Not often doesn't often happen in math, right? Okay, then you're like, okay, so where do we get these second fractions? These second fractions is when we simplify, right? So when I look at these, if I were to simplify, right, I can divide both my numerator and my denominator by 25, right? And I can't remember if we did this toolkit or not, but and when I look at this, 25 over 25, this is just 1, right? And this is our giant 1. I'm leading too much into different toolkits. Right? So if you need help with simplifying, please let me or your teacher know. Right? So that's just simplifying your fraction, right? The decimal, then you're like, oh, how do we get this decimal? 3/4? How did it get to 75 hundredths, right? Looking at this, One, I like to think of money. So if I had 3 out of 4 quarters, I have 75 cents. The other thing I want you guys to know, and I see this meme all the time, right? A division number, a division sign, right, is just a fraction with numbers. Oh, sorry, not with numbers, with dots instead of numbers. Not hashtag, numbers. Okay, so I'm going to show you this example. This 3/4, right? That's a fraction. It's just a division sign. So what operation, when we think of our order of operations, when we think of PEMDAS or GEMDAS or whatever operations we're using, we're thinking exponents, parentheses, we're thinking multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So when I ask you what operation is a fraction, we're dividing. We are using division, right? And that's how they get the decimals. So 3/4, you are just dividing, and we divide the way we read. 3/4 would be 3 divided by 4, and that will give you the 75/100, right? Same thing for this one. For 50%, 1/2, 1 divided by 2 will give you that 5/10, right? Same thing, 50 divided by 100 will give you the same thing. Okay, 25 divided by 100 will give you 25/100. 1/4, right? So 1 divided by 4 would still give you that same number. 1 divided by 10 for the next one right here, 1 divided by 10 will give you 1/10, and so on. Okay, so a couple things just to recap. Percents are always out of 100. Right? Percents are always out of 100. Then we simplify. And then to get that decimal, they're the useful ones to remember. To get that decimal, you just divide your fraction, right? How you read from top to bottom, numerator divided by the denominator, right? And I'm going to even show you for you guys who do long division. This would be 3 divided by 4, right? Your numerator goes in the doghouse. Okay, that was a lot, but it's a simple concept. And I think if you remember that percents are always out of 100, you're pretty good for this one. Okay, thank you.